She told me my success made her feel small and said she needed a partner on her level. So I introduced her to my unemployed cousin in his mom's basement. Her horrified face said it all. I 36M. Honestly need to get this entire story off my chest, because the whole situation still blows my mind and I am processing the pure audacity of it all. I had been with Nicole, 33, for 4 years, and up until recently I thought we had a solid, steady relationship built on mutual respect and support. When we first met, life was pretty simple. I was working warehouse logistics, making about $18 an hour. Nicole worked at a dental office doing admin work, pulling in around $35,000 a year. Nothing fancy, but we clicked almost immediately, moved in together after a year, and honestly built what I believed was a comfortable and loving partnership. Now, to be clear, I am not some trust fund baby or Silicon Valley tech bro rolling in millions. I am just a regular guy who decided to put in the hard work and actually change his life. I took night classes while working full-time, earned my certification in supply chain management, then climbed step by step from supervisor to operations manager, and eventually became a regional logistics coordinator at a mid-sized company. Today, I pull in around 85,000 plus bonuses. It is not flashy, but it is respectable and a world away from where I started. Meanwhile, Nicole stayed right where she was. Same job, same position, same pay, and I truly never had a problem with that. I never once made it a competition, never threw my income in her face, never expected her to match my ambition. But apparently that was not enough for her. About 6 months ago, I started noticing the little comments. Things like, "Must be nice having those business lunches while I'm eating a sandwich at my desk." Or, "Your coworkers probably think I'm beneath you." Even complaining that I used corporate words now when I spoke. I tried to reassure her, told her we were partners, that money didn't define our relationship, that her concerns were ridiculous. She would seem calmer for a while, but then the same insecurities kept circling back. 2 weeks ago, after I received a quarterly bonus of $3,500, I suggested we use it for the vacation she had been wanting. Instead of being excited, she looked at me and said, "Or you could stop flashing your success in my face." That was when I finally put my fork down and asked her what was really going on. And that was when she delivered a speech I will never forget. She said my success made her feel small. She couldn't relate to my work stories anymore. Her friends asked what it was like to date someone out of her league. She claimed she needed a partner who was on her level, someone who understood her struggles, someone who wouldn't make her feel inadequate just by existing. I asked her point blank if she was saying we were growing apart. She danced around the words, saying maybe we were growing in different directions. Maybe she needed someone more grounded. For over an hour we went in circles, with me offering solutions and her shooting down everyone. Couples counseling? No, that wouldn't fix the fundamental inequality. Me taking a lower-paying job? That wasn't the point. Her going back to school? Why should she have to change? Finally, I stared at her and said, "Nicole, it sounds like you've already decided. You want a partner on your level." She nodded slowly and said, "Someone who gets it." At that moment, I understood exactly what was happening. She wanted out, but she didn't want to be the bad guy. She wanted me to carry the blame, to become the successful boyfriend who crushed her spirit. Fine. If she wanted someone on her level, I knew exactly where to find him. And that is when I called my cousin Derek. Now, Derek is 35, and the kindest way to put it is that he exists. He dropped out of community college twice, got fired from 6 jobs in the past 5 years, and currently lives in his mother's basement. His income comes from selling rare Pokemon cards online for beer money. The last real job he had was at a vape shop that closed during COVID. But Derek, in his mind, believes he is an entrepreneur. He once tried a YouTube channel about conspiracy theories and fast food. He preaches about cryptocurrency despite not owning any. He is a walking, talking, living example of someone with zero ambition and maximum delusion. So I called him up, asked if he was still single. He said, "Yeah bro, these females don't appreciate a real one. They're all shallow, wanting dudes with money and cars." And that's when I told him I had someone perfect for him. Someone who was on his level. Derek got excited, talking about how he was sick of stuck-up women. And just like that, the plan was in motion. I told Nicole that my cousin was going through a rough time and asked if she wanted to grab drinks with us to cheer him up. She agreed, probably happy that I was grounded enough to care about family instead of just work. Saturday night rolled around. Nicole showed up looking amazing, clearly putting in effort. Then Derek walked in. Cargo shorts in October. An anime t-shirt with stains. A neck beard that hadn't been trimmed in months. Crocs with socks. He walked over, bear hugged me, then looked Nicole up and down. Damn bro, you didn't tell me she was this fine. Nicole forced a smile. Within 5 minutes, Derek had launched into his entire life story. How the system was rigged against him. How his last boss was jealous of his potential. How his Pokemon card business was going to disrupt the market. When Nicole politely asked where he worked, he said, I don't believe in traditional employment. I'm an independent contractor in the digital marketplace. I clarified, he sells Pokemon cards from his mom's basement. Derek gave me a death glare and said, you just don't get it, bro. You're too caught up in your corporate prison. Nicole's eyes darted between him and me, the comparison hitting her like a ton of bricks. And then Derek leaned toward her and said, you seem like someone who gets the real struggle, not like these fake successful people. And that was the exact moment when it finally clicked for Nicole. She was staring at what her level actually looked like. The next 2 hours were comedy gold. Derek was in peak form, oblivious to Nicole's horror. He ordered the cheapest beer on the menu and then asked Nicole if she wanted to split it to save money. When she declined, he ranted about how modern women were programmed by capitalism to waste money. He told her he respected her for having a regular job and not trying to climb any ladder. He then explained his business model in detail, buying Pokemon cards at garage sales and reselling them online for a 30% markup. He bragged about his $200 inventory, saying he was on the verge of scaling up to a 6-figure empire. Nicole, wide-eyed, asked how long he had been doing it. Derek proudly said, 2 years, but I'm still in the development phase. My brand name is Derek's Catch Them All. Got almost 50 followers on Instagram. When the check came, Derek just sat there. Didn't even pretend to reach for his wallet. Finally said, oh, I didn't bring cash. Didn't know we were doing the whole payment thing tonight. Usually women are cool with going Dutch or whatever. I paid. While Nicole looked like she wanted to melt into the floor. Derek then turned the whole situation into a speech about how my throwing money around was exactly what was wrong with society. Nicole excused herself to the bathroom. Derek leaned over and whispered to me, yo, I think she's into me. She keeps staring. Nicole returned minutes later, pale and clearly done. She said she wasn't feeling well and needed to leave. Derek jumped up, offering to walk her to her car, saying, sometimes you gotta let a real man take care of you. She refused, practically running to her car while Derek shook his head, calling it her loss. That same night, Nicole texted me, we need to talk. By Monday, she showed up at my apartment looking exhausted. She called what I did cruel, saying I set her up. I calmly explained I had invited my cousin out because she said she wanted someone on her level. Derek was exactly that. Same income bracket, same career trajectory, same lifestyle. She exploded, saying that wasn't what she meant. I replied, then what did you mean, Nicole? Because Derek is literally on your level. And if my moderate success makes you feel small, then Derek's lack of it should make you feel big. She started crying, accusing me of twisting everything. I told her flat out that instead of celebrating my growth, she chose to see it as a threat. She wanted me to shrink myself just to make her feel bigger. Over the next week, she tried to manipulate the situation back into her favor. Suddenly she was the perfect girlfriend, cooking fancy meals, suggesting we look at houses together, even initiating intimacy. But the truth came out one Saturday when I found her on my laptop logged into my banking app. She admitted she was snooping to see how much I really made and had saved, saying a friend told her she needed to know where she stood financially if we were building a future. That was the final straw. I told her we were done. She exploded, accusing me of emotional abuse, of trapping her financially, threatening to spin the story to our friends. I simply told her to go ahead and tell people I introduced her to my unemployed cousin after she said my success made her feel small. She moved out the next day, posting vague social media updates about narcissistic exes. Then came a message from Derek. Nicole had asked him out for coffee. He even live-tweeted their date. Within hours, he was telling me Nicole had burst into tears when she realized his business plans had no real future. She even asked him for money. He offered her store credit for his Pokemon cards. She called him a loser and stormed out. Nicole sent me one final text. "I hope you're happy. You've ruined my life." I didn't respond, because the truth is, she ruined her own life the moment she decided my success was an attack on her ego. It has been a month since then. Nicole moved back in with her parents. She still works at the dental office, still complains to friends that I manipulated her. Derek, meanwhile, turned this into his villain origin story and started a podcast called Real Men Real Talk with 11 listeners, one being his mom. As for me, I took that bonus and went on a solo fishing trip in Montana. No drama, no phone service, just peace. I came back to 17 missed calls from Nicole and a text from her mother saying I was heartless for abandoning her daughter. I blocked the number. The irony is that I would have gladly paid for Nicole to go back to school, to start a business, to grow alongside me. But she didn't want growth. She wanted me to shrink. And that is why, in the end, she ended up exactly where she put herself, stuck at her own level. Like and subscribe for more stories where the truth hits harder than revenge.